Get down, get down, get down, get down, get down, get down. I love the way everything about you, thing about you, thing about you, thing about you. Okay. All right. Hey. Hello. Buenos dias. Hey. All right. Let's get into this read. Welcome back to my channel. This is Adana, also known as the Afrozen. And today I'm reading for the Beautiful Handsome Collective. Hello, Collective. How you doing? Flowers, flowers, flowers. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell to book a private reading with me or to shop in my store. All that information is in the description box below. All right, so let's get into this read. Today I will be discussing and breaking down the psychological truth surrounding and more so the connection between or spiritual anatomy of the narcissistic psyche as to why they do the things that they do, how you can prevent yourself from being in a situation as such or an environment as such, and why they're going through actually what they're going through currently. So everything, of course, is going to come around full circle. Please keep in mind that this is a collective read. Not everything that I mentioned to you is going to resonate. Take what resonates and leave the rest. All right. So they're being gutted like a fish. Yes, 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 yes. And they don't like that feeling. I don't know about you guys. Well, I grew up in South Philly, and at the time, South Philly was heavily, we'll say Asian oriented and also Italian oriented as well too. And I love the diversity when I was living in South Philly at the time, because specifically around the Asian diversity or community here, we were able to be, we had an advantage of different types of like foods and fishes and things of that nature. So we were able to kind of go to the fish market and be able to, purchase fishes from different types of backgrounds here. I say all that to say here is that when we would purchase the fish from the Asian market, they would give us an option to cut the fish. And I was actually enamored in the way that they would open up the fish, cut it out, and, and it was so quick. So I say all that to say here, I don't know if you guys ever visited a fish market of such, but they tend to ask you if you want the fish to be cleaned, right? And I feel like this is what's happening with these individuals here. They're being gutted like a fish. It is what it is. So when a narcissist is being gutted like a fish, it's not really destruction. I'll break it down, of course. It's more of the exposure of the internal parasite they've been feeding. Okay, let me repeat that. When a narcissist is being gutted like a fish, it is not destruction. It is exposure of the internal parasite that they've been feeding. Okay. Psychologically, or from a psychological standpoint, narcissism is not a personality. It is a feeding system. Their entire identity is built around consuming attention, energy, emotion, and validation from others. Okay. They don't grow their own worth, they siphon it from others. So when they get gutted, the parasite is forced into the light. And if you're not careful, if you are purchasing fish from, markets, fish markets, things of that nature, sometimes you may actually get like a worm or a tapeworm actually inside the fish here. Okay. So the gutting is the collapse of their extraction system. So a narcissist survives through extraction. Everything they do, from love bombing to lying to triangulating, is designed to pull energy from others to fill their internal void. That's basically what extraction means. When someone stops feeding the void, meaning you guys here, slices through the illusion or reflects their behavior back to them, it dismantles their entire feeding mechanism. Okay? This is why it feels very catastrophic to them, because they aren't losing you, they're losing the fuel of you or what you can give to them here. Okay. So psychologically, they experience this as a form of an identity starvation. Okay. Their sense of self is not located inside of self or themselves. It is distributed among the people they manipulate. Let me repeat that. Their sense of self is not located inside of themselves. It is distributed among the people that they manipulate. Every person in their life represents a piece of their borrowed identity. Okay. So gutting happens when one of those pieces is either reclaimed or removed. So the narcissist feels as if chunks of their existence are being torn away. Also, the truth does not cut them. It exposes the rot that was already there. And when you see or smell something rotten, the first thing you have to do is you have to make sure you take initiative to go ahead and to clean out that rotting thing or that smelly thing here, which is a narcissist here. So, lost my train of thought. Hold on, where is my notes? Okay, so the truth doesn't cut them. It exposes the rot that was already there. They were already rotten in their core, but they didn't want people to see that, or they didn't want people to smell their smelly ways, if that makes sense. So a narcissist fears truth because truth reveals the parts of them that never developed emotionally. Their shame wound, their abandonment wound, their envy wound, and their inadequacy wound. These are unhealed fragments that sit inside of them like organs that never matured. When truth pours light into them or onto them, it looks like gutting, but reality or in reality, it is illumination. And they can't handle things being illuminated around their rotten ways or their rotten core, okay? So their psyche is stitched together with lies. Their mind is stitched together with lies. If you remove one lie, just all you need to do is just remove one lie, and the whole structure as to who they make up or as to what they think they are begins to unravel here. So their entire identity relies on maintaining the story that they are very superior, innocent, victimized, or actually misunderstood. So these are psychological sutures, okay? So when one suture breaks, their self-image spills out. This is why their reaction is so violent and so disproportionate. They aren't reacting to what you said. They are reacting to the collapse of the scaffolding that keeps their ego from imploding. Okay? So the gutting exposes how emotionally malnourished that they truly are. Healthy people digest truth, meaning you guys here. They're my little buddy. Healthy people digest truth, accountability, and introspection, which is within yourself. Narcissists cannot digest any of those things or characteristics. Their psyche rejects anything that threatens the fantasy version of themselves. So being gutted is the moment they choke on what they've avoided swallowing their whole life. Let me repeat that. Being gutted is the moment they choke on what they avoided swallowing their whole life. So it forces them to face the part of themselves they've abandoned a long time ago. This is the real psychological violence in regards to what they exhibit towards other people here. Not from you, but from their own reflection. So, okay. So with that being said here, hold on. So it forces them to face the part of themselves they abandoned a long time ago. This is the real psychological violence, okay, that they exhibit towards other people and themselves here. Not from you, but from their own reflection, okay? They're confronted with the version of themselves they threw away in childhood, the powerless one, the ashamed one, the needy one, the frightened one, the unprotected one. Gutting rips open the false adult mask and forces their inner child to surface, trembling and also enraged here. So they do not fear being exposed to others. They fear being exposed to themselves. Yeah. That is the deepest layer or the deeper parts of the layer here. Their panic is not because you saw them. It's because for a split second, they saw themselves. And them seeing themselves is like, oh my God, what the hell is going on here? So no mask, no illusion, no story. It's just the raw, unfiltered emptiness they spent their whole life escaping. So all in all, this is the psychological anatomy of a narcissistic person being gutted. It's truly not pain, it's revelation. For us, it won't be pain because we're able to go within ourselves and see the parts of self that no longer serves us. But for them here, it may come off as pain, even though stated in my notes and from my school notes here, the professor stated that it wasn't pain, but I kind of had to disagree with the professor, respectfully, of course, because if they did not have pain or if they did not experience the pain, this is where the revelation came in. The reason why the revelation came in is because there was some form of pain that they actually witnessed or they felt here, which helped them to see, or more so things were more so revealed to them based on the pain that they have, if that makes sense. So I did not agree with the professor there, but we all have our own, point of view here. So with that being said here, this person, narcissistic person, do not like feeling like they're being gutted. They don't like the fact that even though their insides are gutted and kind of like out in front of everyone to see, when you spread it all out here, they don't like the rotting, we'll say the rotting parts of them that people can smell and see here. So this is the part where they're really struggling here, and they're trying to figure out how to kind of rearrange themselves in a position where people don't see them as such rotting, because that's what a narcissistic person do anyways. They rot within themselves. So they need other people's perception or other people's point of view here to make them feel like everything is okay with them. And we all know that's not the case, or that's not the truth here. Okay, so cold-hearted is here. This is why they feel so cold-hearted at times. Good morning, Grand Rising, y'all. They feel very cold-hearted here because of the identity starvation, or the starvation of their identity here. Their sense of self is not located inside of themselves. It is distributed amongst the people they manipulated. Let me repeat that. They experience a starvation of their identity because their sense of self is not located inside of self or within themselves. It is distributed amongst the people that they manipulate. So every person in their life represents a piece of their borrowed identity. Every person in their life that they have been able to successfully manipulate represents a piece of their borrowed identity within their life here. Gutting happens when one of those pieces is reclaimed or removed. So you're removing the rotten parts of them, the lying parts of them, the facade parts of them, the illusion parts of them here. And when you remove that or gut that from them here, the narcissists feel as if chunks of their existence are being torn away. And that's the honest truth here. So let's keep moving forward. We have jail here. So this is why they feel stuck within their mind, or more so their body. Let me start with, let me refocus and use these cards here, because this is going to go a little deeper for me here. It's like when they were gutted, this is figuratively speaking, okay? This is figuratively speaking here. When you gutted this person in regards to the rotten parts of them here, you saw just how rotten they were to their core, if that makes sense. It's like if you leave a fish out on an open table or on the kitchen table, or if you leave it outside on the, in the sun somewhere, eventually that fish is going to start to decay. It's going to start to rot. It's going to start to smell, And I feel like this is what's happening here with them. Their identity is starting to smell. So they feel very blue within themselves, or they feel very sick within themselves. They refuse to throw up the sickness within themselves. They refuse to get rid of the rubbish within themselves. So they're like soaking in their nastiness, or they're stewing in their rottenness, if that makes sense. Thank you. This person is really stewing. This person is stewing in their filth and don't know how to get out of it. They can't get out of something that they've never been in, if that makes sense. They cannot get out of something that they've never been in, which is themselves. They've never been within themselves. So how are they going to be able to get out of it? They don't have the correct, we'll say, tools or edification here to get out of themselves or to get out of this situation here. They don't know how to. And this is where you come in here. They try to shift the blame towards you here because you're able to see what they're not able to get out of, which is themselves. Somebody's going to ring shopping. I'm also hearing 50 Cent song, Window Shopper. Take it how it resonates. Or someone is dreaming of the finer things in life, but they can't get it without you. Or they feel like the only way that they can get it or sustain it is through you and with you here, but you're not giving them the energy to be able to sustain, we'll say, that facade or that illusion here. So they feel trapped. Yeah, they feel really trapped that they can't get out of this stew, this rotten stew. Now, when it comes to, I'm going to repeat what I stated here. When it comes to their psyche is stitched together with lies. So they have like a blank canvas within their mind here, and they want to recreate it in the way they see best fit for themselves, but only for themselves, not for the benefit of other people. And the reason why I say that is because if you're coming from a space where you have a healthy mind or a healthy mental space here, you're not going to do anything harmful towards yourself and towards other people here. Then on the other hand here, because their mind was like a canvas to them, they decided to stitch it up with nothing but lies based on the experiences that they may have encountered or experienced when they were younger here. I strongly feel narcissism starts within, again, the nuclear family, or more so from a childhood or childlike age. That's my own research of things. But the moment that you remove one lie, the whole structure unravels. So it's like, let's say on this t-shirt here or this shirt here, there's a little piece of string here, and I just so happen to pull it. But not realizing that I pulled that string, now the whole top of the part kind of falls apart here. It starts to unravel. This is what's happening to this individual here. They feel like even though that they meticulously try to stitch their mind or their psyche with some form of lies here, that their lies would have never been unraveled for anyone to see. And all that's left after their psyche or their mind has been unraveled here, all that's left is them being stuck in that same said space where they didn't want people to see. So we have, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be. Oh man. So we have a man and a woman here. Okay, so take this how this resonates. I feel like this is the collective here. So you're the one that has their hand over your ears here, and you completely ignore what this person have to say, and this person's trying to get a rise out of you, but it's not working. And the more that they try to get a rise out of you, the more they spiral out of control here, to the point where as they're spiraling out of control, they remain stuck here. Sure do. It's like a never-ending storm or a never-ending tumultuous downpour of negativity that they can't get out of. They can't get out of this at all. And they want the storm to stop. They want the lightning and the thundering. They want all the chaotic space within themselves to stop. And this is where they kind of swirling in or twirling in. You make such an impact or imprint on this person that they can't take that. They can't take the imprint or the impact that you have imprinted onto them, because they realize their illusions are just so, their illusions here. And it's putting them in a position where they don't want to get out of their illusions, because if they eventually get out of their illusions here, they will have to accept reality for what it is. And again, reality is the actual truth. It doesn't matter what type of truth it is. What you're actually seeing is what that is. That's what reality is versus illusions. Illusions are nothing but lies or cover-ups. Ain't that something? They feel like a loner. Yeah. Yeah, they feel like a loner here. I'll use this as a form of the mental psyche when it comes to this narcissistic individuals here. All they keep doing is swinging back and forth. It's like a pendulum that just keeps swinging back and forth with their mind. And they're trying to figure out when they can actually stop the pendulum from swinging back and forth. And the more that the pendulum keeps swinging back and forth, the more they go deeper within their mind. We all can go down the rabbit hole when it comes to our mind. Yes, we can. But some individuals are not able to understand, or they're not able to discover, or we'll say understand that bandwidth of going deep within the mind. The more deeper you go within the mind, the more you're going to uncover your traumas. And most people can't handle uncovering their traumas for whatever reason. These individuals here, we've all experienced some form of trauma in our life or lifetime here. It just depends on how deep or how far you're willing to go down a rabbit hole when it comes to your mind. These individuals here love to stay on the surface level when it comes to their mind here, because they know that if they go deep or deep enough within their mind here, it's going to set them off to where they may have some form of like a mental breakdown here. And they can't handle this mental breakdown here. They can't handle the indecency of the rottenness that they have within themselves here. But things had to happen in this way because they didn't understand what no is, or they don't even know what no is. So they kept trying to test and press your luck or their luck over and over and over again, because they felt like that they could do it. They felt like that you were an easy task, or they felt like that you were more so like an easy prey in this way here, which is why, again, their psyche is stitched together with lies. They lied to themselves based on the illusions that they created within themselves here. And because they're so delusional within their illusions here, this is what they created in their mind here, lies. So when something or someone comes along and challenge the lies that they have etched or stitched within themselves here, they're not able to understand it. They're not able to grasp that. They're not able to comprehend what is going on here, okay? Someone's name is Frederica or Frederick. Okay. Fernandad. Francisco, Francesca. Someone's name could be Seska. Someone's name could be Fran or Franny or Francis. Franklin. Formidable. A part of them kind of feels like because they're spiraling out of control, that you need to be the one to fix them, because you're actually the one that made them spiral out of control. But yet again, all you did was just speak the truth, okay? And again, their psyche is stitched together with lies. So when you took apart that little string within their mind here and you unraveled their lies here and they actually saw the truth for what it is, it's like, what the fuck? What am I doing with myself? That kind of way. Sociable Shy states on Instagram, um, you are absolutely correct. They get stuck in that rabbit hole and they can't get out. So they're going to become crazy. You're correct here. Yes, but the thing is, they're the one that established the rabbit hole here. I don't know if you guys ever saw Alice in Wonderland, and correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a very long time since I've seen it. If I can recollect, I do believe Alice came into a space of like a Wonderland, but I think it was more so within her mind. And there were a lot of other key players. I think it was like the Mad Hatter and all those other, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but they all played intricate parts or detailed parts surrounding Alice's mind here. And I strongly feel, again, I could be wrong, but again, take how it resonates. I strongly feel they did this in a way to make her see things in a way to kind of accept the illusions as such, if that makes sense. So with that being said here, they're the one that created the rabbit hole, or they're the one that keep diving deep or digging within your psyche. This is what they tried to do. They tried to dig within your mind here. And they thought that you were going to succumb to what they have dug up within your mind. But your mind, as I keep telling you guys, your mind is a powerful tool. It is very important and also imperative to ensure that you make sure that you're not having people or things or places or inception of things or negativity or whatever. However, here, you need to make sure that you're not allowing those things to kind of seep in your mind here, because if so, what happens eventually is that the DNA within your mind, the DNA makeup of your mental space, is actually going to start to shift. And it may shift into something much more negative, or more so into a space where you can't get out of that rabbit hole. As I mentioned, if you are one that wanting to heal yourself or wanting to take the path, the initiative, the path to heal, there are some parts of you that you're going to have to dive deep in. And if it becomes too much, then I highly suggest that you don't dive too deep within your mind if you're not able to comprehend the traumas that actually may be hidden from you. Sometimes the traumas are so deep embedded within ourselves, it's actually therefore a form of protection, because some individuals, again, cannot handle the severity of the traumas that they have experienced. But again, these narcissistic individuals kept pushing their luck with you here, and they felt that they had this God complex. They thought that they were better than you. They thought that they were bigger than the program. They thought that they would, you know what I mean? They thought that their darkness or their darker parts of self would have never been exposed to themselves here. So this is why they felt so comfortable trying to break down your mind here. And as I mentioned to you guys before, there are ways to definitely destroy a narcissist. Yes, there is. And I don't feel bad for saying that. I'm for real. I don't feel bad for saying that. I sure should. Because the way they operate is so goddamn wicked, it's so goddamn vile, it's so goddamn riot. And it's like, ugh, go away, you know? Somebody could be watching the Care Bears, or you love the Care Bears. You may have a tattoo of the Care Bears. Okay? Take it how it resonates. But look, we're going to look at this as a form of a tunnel, right? And that light, the deeper you go, the more light you're going to need. I'll use this as an example. I'm sure you guys watched National Geographic before, and you saw like a submarine going down to the bottom of the floor of the ocean here. Well, the farther down, or the further down that the submarine is going to go to discover or research whatever it is it needs to do here, the more light needs to be shown in order for the submarine to see what's what. Not so? And again, it's something like that in regards to your psyche here. The deeper you go within your mind, the more light you're going to need to make sure that you're tethered to that light. So that way, if it gets too much for you to bear or to handle, well, then you can come back up, or you can rise yourself back up into the light. If that makes sense, they can't do that. They don't have any lights whatsoever. They're just stuck in this abyss of darkness within their mind here. And this is why a lot of individuals are walking around here with undiagnosed mental instabilities. That's the truth. So when someone is coming at you and laughing at you because you have the light within yourself and it's also within your mind here, they look at you if something is off or wrong with you. And that's not the case. You're not the one that's creating etch things within your mind. You're not the one that's creating stitches of illusions within your mind here. Your mind is perfectly mentally sound and you're mentally well. You can make decisions for yourself. You're very cognizant in regards to the decisions that you make here. They're not. Their entire identity relies on maintaining the story that they are superior, innocent, victimized, or misunderstood. Their entire identity relies on maintaining, sustaining the story that they are superior to you. Well, how can they be superior to you when you just unravel one string from their mind and they don't know how to take that? They can't handle it. How is it that they consider to be innocent here when you're speaking about things from an innocent standpoint here? They can't handle it. Also, victimized or misunderstood. You're not victimizing yourself. And if you are, I really hope that you don't, because the more that you victimize yourself in regards to the experience that you go through, the more you're going to stay in that victimized mentality. And to be honest with you, that's not a good look, and that's not going to help you heal. Despite whatever experience that you went through, Divine Collective that I'm speaking to at this moment here. So it's a very important, or again, imperative to make sure that your mind stays in a space where it's very healthy and very sound, and you cannot allow victimization or victimizing yourself to stay in a position of becoming stuck. They also want to utilize feeling misunderstood by others, but they're trying to utilize that to their advantage here, and more so your disadvantage here, by trying to get you to see their misunderstood ways. Their misunderstood ways does not make sense. It's nothing but gibberish. It's jargon. It's incoherent fallacies. It doesn't make sense. So when you question or when you challenge their incoherencies or incoherent BS or babble, here you like, what the fuck you talking about? Oh, yeah. Then they're going to try to counterattack you in your mind here with trying to make you think that the things that they're saying, and it's very misunderstood information or misunderstood communication here, they want you to think that that's correct, or they want you to think that that's normal. That's not normal. It's not. Again, these individuals, most of them, all they have are survival tools. And underneath their belt, surrounding their survival tools, is the gift of gab, or words. Just because someone says something doesn't mean it makes sense. You be like, say what now? Come again, what you say? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12, minus, negative, plus, division. And you be like, what the fuck you talking about? It doesn't make sense. This is why they don't like to be challenged with the questions that you have for them. Because you're going to put them in a space to where they're going to start to, unravel by themselves here, and they can't handle that. They can't handle people with sound mind challenging them with their unsound mind. Does that make sense? Because the moment that you challenge them with their unsound mind, it forces them to face the part of themselves they abandoned a long time ago. That is the real psychological violence that they have placed on themselves here. Not from you, but from their own reflection. And you are the mirror, and they keep trying to show up as if, they're the mirror of you. So when you finally show that reflection back onto them, they're confronted with the version of themselves they threw away in childhood, the powerless one. So something happened in their childhood where they may have felt very powerless. They may have felt very ashamed. They may have felt very needy, maybe of love, maybe emotions, maybe time, patience, whatever the case may be. They may have felt very frightened when they were young. They may have felt very unprotected when they were young. And these are the same things, or we'll say the same deficits, that they try to inflict onto you. They try to make you powerless. They try to make you ashamed. They try to make you feel very needy. They try to make you feel very frightened. And also, they try to make you feel very unprotected. Yes. People can only treat you based on the level of experience that they have experienced in life. And if this is all they have experienced in life, that is all you're going to receive from them. That's it. They never felt protected, and you feel protected within your mind. That's the first thing they're going to go for is your mind. Well, you waited, you'll never, blah, 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 yeah. And they will wait strategically. They are patient. Narcissistic parasites are very patient. Very patient. And they make sure that they go after individuals that are very strong-minded within their mind. Again, it's intentional. Very much so. You had the key to their unhinged mind. You did. They were trying to figure you out. They were trying to figure out how they can get the key to your mind, but they could not. The more you heal yourself and the more that you can go deep within yourself that you're able to withstand, the more the locks are going to be hidden, if that makes sense. An unhealed person versus a healed person is not going to be able to handle, I'll put it this way, an unhealed person is not going to be able to handle a healed person. They're trying to configure or unlock many parts of you that they can't even do within themselves. So when they realize that they never had the correct keys to open up your mind, this makes them upset. But you had the keys to their mind. You did. You had the truth. That's what the key was. The truth. How do you get to the truth? Healing. That's the truth. They thought no one could ever discover them or no one could ever decipher them. That's false. Again, people give you the blueprint as to who they truly are. Just watch them. Sometimes you ain't got to say nothing motherfucking thing. Just watch them. You're like, okay. Just watch them. In the minute that you just watch them and just stay quiet, then this is when they create the delusion in their mind, the stitches of the illusions within their mind. Oh, something's off with the collective. Oh, the collective is a mute. The collective is not smart. And that is not true. Clearly, you here listening to me, right? That's not true, boo. They literally gave you the master key to themselves. Let me repeat that. The narcissistic parasite or fools literally gave you, hand-delivered the key to their mind. Literally. They think that they were studying you. They don't even know what to study in regards to you. Well, how do you know that? Because you're constantly healing. And the older versions or the illusioned versions that they have created about yourself, it wasn't true. So when they thought that they were able to stumble upon a so-called key within your mind and they tried to turn that lock to open up your mind, it didn't work. It was the wrong keys. It was always the wrong keys. It's like they were utilizing their keys to open up your mind. How is that going to work? If they are unhealed and you are healed. An unhealed person with their own set of keys, unhealed keys, is trying to use those same unhealed keys on someone that is completely or on the verge or on the space or on the path of being healed. Make it make sense. A rusty key trying to open up a lock that doesn't fit for many different reasons. So when they keep fidgeting with their unhealed key. And they're trying to get into your healed mind with this unhealed key. It's like, well, what? I don't know anything about the collective. The collective is always shifting and changing. The collective is always morphing up, always evolving, always ascending, always advancing, always doing whatever it is that you need to do to stay out of the deficit of having a mental breakdown. Their own actions caused their mental breakdown. They weren't ready for someone like you. Clearly, it shows every day, which is why, again, they're being gutted like a fish. They went somewhere that they did not have the correct tools or the correct edification when it came to trying to decipher you. And to be honest, it became very dangerous as they attempt to continuously try to decipher you. Again, if you're not ready to heal, that's okay. Y'all know I'm not here to judge you. If you're not ready to heal, that's cool. But don't dive deep into a space that you don't have the correct, we'll say, protection or the correct, again, tools to protect you from the elements of whatever that is. And in this instance here, the element that we're speaking about is the mind. They could not handle the gardens of your mind. Your garden, your mind is very lushful. It's very vibrant. It's alive. It's thriving. So yeah, someone that's not accustomed to a lush of greatness within your mind, of course they're going to get stuck. Of course, oh, I can't see. Oh, wait, what's all this trees and what's all this? It's like you're going into the rainforest, the Amazon rainforest. You have to be very careful if you decide to trek into the actual rainforest here, because there's so many different types of, we'll say, earthly or elemental booby traps that if you don't have the correct tools, you're going to get your ass caught up in the rainforest, despite it being so beautiful, despite it being so abundant, despite it being so lushful in its rightful element. They were not ready, or they were not prepared. They were not to travel your, let's say, the greatness of your mind. They lost their mind trying to decipher who you are. I can't figure them out. I can't figure the collective out. 1 minute they're this way, the next minute they're another way. You're not supposed to be figured out. What the f is wrong with people, man? No, for real. What is wrong with people? Why are people always trying to figure you out when they should be taking the same 24 hours in a day to try to figure themselves out? This is why they're going mad. Do I feel bad for them? Hell nah. I don't feel bad for them. Not sushi. Stamps on Instagram said sushi. They got a sushi mind. Okay, I can get it. I get it. When a narcissist is being gutted like a fish, it's not destruction. It is exposure of the internal parasite they've been feeding. What's the internal parasite that they have been feeding? It is love bombing, lying, triangulation, designed to pull energy from others to fill their internal void. That's the internal parasite. And if a parasite does not have a host, it can't grow. It won't be able to be fed or fed on or fed off. Psychologically, narcissism is not a personality. It is a feeding system. In order for the narcissist to stay afloat or to stay in survival mode, it needs a feeding system to continue to make them grow. Let's say you have mold in your bathroom from taking hot showers and you don't put the fan on in your bathroom. And eventually, let's say it was a hot summer day. If If you live in Texas, you know what's up, especially around them real hot days. And you just you forget to turn the fan on a couple days or a week or so. And then you realize that you go into the corner of your wall and you realize, oh shoot, there's some mold that's starting to grow. Well, you can take two options or two steps here. You can allow the mold to fester and to continue to grow, which I highly doubt you guys to do, or highly advise you not to do. Or on the flip side of it, you see it, you take care of it, and to make sure it doesn't spread out further. I strongly feel, again, narcissistic individuals are, it's an endemic. It's shit. It's a pandemic. It's an endemic, epidemic. It's all in one. It really is. It really is. I can't find the keys to the collective. I can't get inside the collective's mind. And they're literally fighting against themselves because they cannot decipher you. It's like a fish out of water that's trying to get back into its element. You were never this person's element. You were actually out of this person's, they were out of your element or out of your league, actually. And they thought because you looked a certain way that they thought they had everything they needed to destroy your mind. And they did not. The only thing they ended up destroying was theirs. So we have time or clock here. And there are many different types of clocks here. And they're trying to utilize all of the time that they think they have left. They don't have any time left. They don't. And it shows. The clock started to tick when they thought they had the correct keys for your mind. That's when the time started to tick or go down. Oh, yeah. Like Legends of the Hidden Temple. Y'all remember that show on Nickelodeon? When they were teenagers and they were two to a teen. And they had to go into the temple to get the monkey, the monkey statue. And it was a timed game. They had to open up many different areas. They had to climb up things, go down the slide, and they had to do a lot to ensure that they able to get the 3 parts of the actual monkey statue. They ran out of time because they lost one thing, their mind. When you have your mind, you have time. Trust me on that. When your mind is fully healthy, healed, or intact, or in a sound mind, you're going to have time. You'll have time to sit to think about it. You'll have time to sit and discern about it. You're going to take your time in regards to the decision-making skills that you need to decide or make for your day-to-day life. They don't have that, which is why they're always doing a lot of things haphazardly, in a very ignorant way, because of the time that they don't have within themselves. They're the one that ran out their own time. They're the one that ran out their own clock, not you. Now, they were on borrowed time or a borrowed clock when they were connected to you. When they realized that at that point, that chef kiss of a moment in time where you were sustaining their survivalness, because you were thriving. Yes, you were. You were thriving health, a mind, body, soul, financially, spiritually, etc., etc. And when you disconnected from that or took that back away from them, they went right back into the borrowed time or the time that they never had. You had these individuals in a space of borrowed time. Oh, I like it here. I like it here. Oh, yeah, the collective's thriving. Well, let me just take and take and take and take and just ravish and ravish and ravish as much as I can from the collective. They would never know. They can never tell. And that's not the case here. Again, someone with an unhealed mind is trying to utilize their unhealed keys on a person like you that's very healed or in a healed space. They're hurting no one but themselves. They experience starvation of identity, or their identity is starved. Their sense of self is not located inside of themselves. It is distributed amongst the people they manipulate. Their sense of self, is not located within themselves. It is distributed amongst the people they manipulate. And the more they keep giving away or giving out all of themselves to people, of course, the more those people that they're giving to, that they're trying to manipulate, is going to take from them. They don't even realize that them attempting to manipulate other people, that they're being manipulated as they're attempting to manipulate others. Does that make sense? But yet again, they think that they're the master of manipulation. They're not. It's like the manipulator is getting played by another manipulator, and they don't even realize that they're being manipulated. So when all is said and done, when they finally realize that they have manipulated themselves, they have no energy to thrive off of. They have no energy to regenerate from. And that's their fault, not yours. This is why you're able to see things in color or vibrancy. They only see things in black and white. It's either one way or the other with them. You being able to see things in color or vividly here gives you the whole contrast of the whole situation or the whole picture at hand. So it allows you to have other choices or to create more choices because of the bigger picture that you can see. Y'all are not the same. I'm going to keep saying it. So the next time somebody want to call you delusional, or somebody want to call you mentally unwell, you're not. All you got to do is break it down. They compartmentalize a lot of things. Look at those boxes there. And even these type of boxes here, you still need the correct key in order for them to get out of the compartmentalized boxes that they have created for themselves. They created the boxes, they bought the boxes, but they lost the keys. And these boxes here represents many different parts of their mind, smaller parts and bigger parts of their mind that they can't seem to figure out. Someone's eating banana pudding, or you make a banana pudding for Thanksgiving. Someone's name is Rachel. Or Rochelle, could be French. So now they're sitting in a space of darkness here. The guitar is here. So we're going to look at the guitar as a form of an instrument or things being played. It's sitting in a space of darkness here, and they're trying to figure out how they can play themselves out of this game. They chose specifically a mental game. They did. And they thought that you would have been susceptible, or more so that you would have played into their delusions of a mental game. Their mental games are nothing but delusions and illusions and lies. And I can go on and on and on and on. The more you healed, the more people can play with your mind. The more you heal, the more people cannot play with your mind. Unhealed people attack mentally well or mentally sound individuals such as yourself here because they want you to experience what they are experiencing. Mental unwellness. Does that make sense? Their entire identity is built around consuming attention, consuming energy, consuming emotion, and also consuming validation from others. Why are they doing that? Because they don't have that within themselves. They're not getting the attention that they want, so they have to go and consume it from other people. They don't have the energy that they want, so they have to consume it from other people. They don't have the correct emotions that correlates to the feeling that they're actually feeling here, so they take it from others. They don't know how to self-validate themselves, so they look to other people to validate them. And this is all going on in their head. Every last one of it. This is a shirt, not a dress, but thank you. A narcissist fears truth because truth reveals the parts of them that they never developed emotionally. You have to be emotionally mature to accept the truth as such. Let me repeat that. You have to be emotionally mature to be able to accept the truth for what it is. Haven't you realized that when you spoke truth to someone and they can't handle the truth, they go into a meltdown? They can't emotionally handle the truth. A narcissist fears truth because truth reveals the parts of them that never developed emotionally. Their shame wound, their abandonment wound. And these are things you speak about towards them. You talk about their shame. Yes, you do. You call out their shame. You call out their abandonment wounds. You call out their envy wound. You call out their inadequacy wounds. All of these wounds are an unhealed version of themselves that they've refused to face, that they refuse to see as the truth. So instead of them taking responsibility for the wounds that they have experienced, they want to blame you for it. They want to cause harm towards you. They want to put you in harm's way. Negative. That ain't gonna happen, little dog. That's the one thing that's keeping them from spinning out of control. You were the only thing that was keeping them from spinning out of control. And intuition is in reverse. They didn't want you to know this. They knew something was off with themselves. Yeah, they know. Shoot, some of them may even say that you're crazy or they're this and they that. Why saying I would never say that. That's just me. You telling someone that you crazy and you happy and you laughing about that, that's not something to laugh about. Because the moment that you say that you crazy or something like that, I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Again, they give you the blueprint as to who they are all the time. They always telling on themselves all the time. Always. Why in the world you want to deal with a crazy person that feel proud to say that they're crazy? That's not a flex. That ain't something to be proud about. And they're coming out saying that, yeah, a crazy person is an unhinged person. I don't want no parts of that. And the crazy part about this is that when they were around their group of CUNTs, they were calling you crazy to those individuals there, and they thought that was so funny. They thought that people seeing you as such or picturing you as such, despite them actually being that actual energy or space, they thought it was funny. But now that the tables have turned and people realize that they're the true crazy ones, they can't handle their crazy. Ain't that something? They can't handle their own crazy. That's crazy. No, for real. That is crazy. They keep claiming it and they keep saying it. And when it finally shows up to their front step, their front door, they can't handle it. What is this? What is this? No, for real. What the hell is this? They fear themselves. They fear their own crazy. Could be toxic family, however it resonates. Oh, goodness gracious. Sneaky. Impulsive. Their sneakiness is what makes them very impulsive. Huh? Their sneakiness is what makes them so damn impulsive. They have no time. They have no sense of time. They have no sense of reality. They don't have a sense of anything. Shit, they don't even have a sense of self. I know time is linear. Just hear me out. You need time to figure things out when it comes to your mind. Yes, you do. You need time to figure out things for yourself, to make the decisions, to make the best decisions that you can for yourself. And with utilizing your time in the correct way, it helps you to establish an emotional maturity about yourself, an emotional regulation surrounding yourself. That happens with time. If you don't have time, you won't be able to do it. They don't have time because they wasted their time on the most silliest, frivolous thing. And the silliest, frivolous thing that they have wasted time on was trying to destroy your mind. That's what they tried to do. Again, an unhealed person with unhealed keys is trying to utilize their unhealed keys, their unhealed blueprint on someone that is mentally sound, mentally well, mentally healthy. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And they're very childish in nature, clearly, truly. Hey, they're very childish in nature. Wherever their growth has been stunted, that's what you are seeing. So if something happened to them at the age of 6, even though they're adult, they're still acting like their 6-year-old self. If something happened when they were 8 years old or 4 years old, wherever they were stunted in age is how they are actually operating currently today, in today's time. Why in the hell will I be arguing with a grown-ass adult that's still acting like a 6-year-old child or an 8-year-old child or a 10-year-old child? How does that benefit the collective? Strong family. Strong family. Baby. We have message and we have bad luck. So a bad luck message is coming. Hey. Lots of bad luck is coming towards them. Because they no longer can feed off of you. Let me look up the etymology of the word system. System is the whole creation, the universe. an arrangement. Uni means one. Verse of all. Verse means all. A universe, one of all. You are one of all, if that makes sense. The all is within you, what makes you you. It's organized. You're connected to the creator. This is the creation of you. They wanted to be connected to the system of you so that way they can feed off of you. And if the system no longer is in a space where it can continue to thrive, that system is going to collapse. Does that make sense? And just because the system may collapse doesn't mean that you can't create a new one. You can create as many as you want. Just depending on how you're able to perceive it, because everyone's perception is going to be slightly different. Stressed out with no time left on the clock for them. He's stressed out. Could be a Gemini that is hiding themselves from their childlike state that they never left. Their childlike state or their rambunctious childlike state, it never left them. Gemini represents the mind, represents twins. They call Gemini, or the darker parts of Gemini, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This person's in a deplorable deficit within their mind. And they're trying to hide that childlike spirit, the unhealed parts of their childlike spirit. They're trying to hide that from the world. No communication. Could be a Libra, however it resonates. They don't know how to comprehend their own downfall of their mind. And they expect other people to help them. That's on y'all. Y'all gonna do what y'all need to do. But for me, I'm speaking specifically for me. I'm not helping nobody in this space. I'm being so for real with you. Nope. I'm being so for real with you. We have boundaries and spiritual awakening. So when you establish boundaries, or when you filtered in the boundaries, they had a spiritual awakening. But spiritual awakening is also truth. Most people can't handle things being awakened to them, depending how fast, depending on what type of awakening it is. Most or some people cannot handle that. Spiritual is an enlightenment. It shows you things that you need to see, not want to see, what you need to see, because that's what helps you awake. The spiritual aspect of you starts to come alive, starts to come online, so that way you can finally awake. They did the opposite, or they tried to do the opposite with Cancer. Take how it could be an actual Cancer sign, or they were cancerous to your awakening, however it resonates. Hey, Debbie. They were cancerous to your awakening. And they thought that they would have been blessed. They thought they would have been financially blessed by ensuring that you never awakened. Make that make sense. They thought that they would have been blessed if you did not awake. Let's look up the etymology of the word blessed. Supremely happy, consecrated, holy. They thought that they would have been blessed if they stopped you from spiritually awakened. Remember, this is a spiritual warfare, a mental warfare. You put those two things together, depending on how you're able to perceive that notion, it could be a good thing or it could be a very, very bad thing. Sometimes when some people are awakened spiritually within their mental space, it creates a haywire diversion, aversion, destruction, chaos, deficit. You're not ready to understand the spiritual parts of self. So if they can't handle that, what makes you think they're going to be able to handle the mental parts of self? Everything has to work together in tandem so you can get the best spiritual experience. I'm hungry. I'm super hungry. Y'all excuse me. I'm trying to think, what can I eat? Oh, man. Frenemy is here. Oh. Frenemy. So a frenemy could be going through something in their mind right now. A frenemy may have thought it could be a Pisces, however it resonates. You could be the Pisces, they could be the Pisces. I think I'm going to go get some pizza. Yeah. I want pizza. Anywho, frenemy and Pisces. Pisces rules the 12th house. The 12th house is Neptune. Gives illusionary state. The 12th house is where the subconscious sits. Again, most people can't handle the information within their subconscious. A frenemy thought that they would have been blessed, supremely happy. They thought that they would have been consecrated or holy if you did not awake. Make that make sense, man. They're illusions we're talking. Karmic. And that's why they're in the current state that they're currently in. And then they add more insult to injury for the ones that resonate. They want to play with candles. So their mind is already not in a healthy space, not in a sound space. Now they want to play with candles and they got stuck. That's why I keep telling you guys, if you don't know what you're doing, do not play with candles. You're going to work with them? Cool, work with them. Because I work with my candles, I sure do. But don't come over here playing with stuff that you have no knowledge about, because their mind is not right. Abundant is in reverse due to childhood traumas. Well, I'm just going to light a candle on the collective because I don't like the collective. Well, I'm just going to do this towards the collective because I can. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And these are things that they should not have played with. But it's okay. Who don't hear will feel. And that's okay with me. Now they have nothing but anxiety that they created. No joy in their heart. Someone's name could be Joy or Joyce. Controlling is in reverse. Listen to Janet Jackson, Control. Or you grew up in that era when she was, you know, she still is that girl. She is. But when she was in her younger time, hey man, Janet was everywhere. They can't control the outcome of the situation. The reason why they can't control the outcome of the situation is because they never thought an outcome was going to be had, or they never thought that things would have shifted in the way that they had or have shifted for them. One track mind. It's their way or the highway. Okay? Take the highway. Never take their way. Take the highway. I mean, shit, they give it to y'all all the time. It's my way or the highway. Okay, well, let me go ahead and take this highway real quick. Right here, the exit right here. All right, see you. No, you don't wait. You ain't supposed to take the highway. You're supposed to take my way. No, they literally said to you verbatim, it's my way or the highway. That's what they said. Those are the two choices they gave to you. Take the highway. The highway opens up a many different pathways. Take the highway. So again, that don't make sense. And mad at you because you took the highway. Having a Home Alone moment right now. It's like, really? This is a mental and spiritual warfare when you're dealing with narcissistic individuals. Protect your spirit first and foremost, and protect your mind. Because you need those two things to help you, again, make the best decisions that you can for yourself on a day-to-day basis. And if they can't infiltrate any of those two things, if they can't perceive you to look in a certain way or to perceive you negatively, it's not going to work because you're able to see the red flags. And because you're able to see the red flags, this is why they're holding a grudge against you. Who the frick cares? Who the fart cares? Who cares? That's on them. That's the unspoken truth. The door is closed. Yeah. Due to the ancient history that they can't keep ancient, that they refuse to keep buried. They keep kicking up the dust and keep kicking up the sand. So you be like, oh, wow, what is that? Let me unravel that real quick. Oh, wow, what is that? Now you unraveled a whole new world because they refuse to keep the history as such in the past. Aren't they the one that keep telling you you need to keep things in the past? And when you try to keep it in the past, they kept digging it up. They kept bringing it up. They kept dredging it up. They don't make sense. They don't make sense. Stop arguing and fighting with people that don't make sense. That's all I got to say. I'll be back on in a little bit. Got Pisces. You could be the Pisces. They could be the Pisces. We have Gemini. You could be Gemini. They could be Gemini. Leo. Pisces. Strong Pisces. Okay. Aquarius. You're welcome. Cancer. Virgo. Okay, so if that resonates with you guys, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you grab this book. If you are truly serious about your journey, and I'm not pulling your leg, I'm so for real with you. If you are truly serious about your journey, grab this book, Wisdom Beyond Wounds. And when you get the book, work in the book. Don't just grab the book to buy it and just put it to the side. No, boo. Sit down and work the exercises in the book, because the more you do, you'll be like, God damn it, I went through that thing. I never saw it that way. I never realized. It's going to expand your mind. It really is. And if you're ready to expand your mind, grab this book, boo, Wisdom Beyond Wounds. If you need more assistance, get into the group on Facebook, Wisdom Beyond Wounds. We working there every day. As soon as I get off of here, I'm about to go check my peeps to make sure they good. Make sure they're doing their work. The work only works if you work it. That's the absolute honest truth. The work only works if you work it. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I'm here. I'm ready. What's up? I'm ready, y'all. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I'm ready. So, y'all go out there and be freaking great. Be freaking phenomenal, because that's what you are. You're great and you're phenomenal. And you owe that to yourself. Don't allow anybody to tell you differently. Don't allow anybody to tell you less. You got stuff to do. And I hope you're able to see your potential. I hope you're able to walk finally into that space of your life where you are very confident, to where you become unstoppable. All right. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Thank you so much. I'll see you pretty soon. Take care, TikTok. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.